Hey, what's up? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for another one of my wonderful, informative, on-the-mark tours. And this time we're in Boston, my fucking hometown. My fucking hometown, dude! We're at the Comedy Connection, the Wilbur Theatre. The Wilbur, as they say here, and there will be a lot of obnoxious Boston accent on this one. They're testing the lights over there. So there it is. Going to be performing here. A lot of history in this place. Look at that door. Look at that side door up there. You know what that is? That's from the old Comedy Connection. I believe that set, that was the set that they built when Rosie O'Donnell made a special. See that? It's just that's just a little appetizer of the kinds of tidbits of information. So this is it. This is backstage, isn't it glamorous? Oh my God, you made it. So this is the backstage area. You know, this is how it is. They spend all the money out there. And back here they go, get on stage, you fucking animal. This is one of my favorite, most random things I've ever seen backstage. This is a dental chair. You know, I don't know why it's here. I don't know why it's that color. I'm actually gonna try to guess the year. Judging by that color, pre-80s, pre-70s. I'm gonna guess that's 1960s, right when Sinatra started to fill out, whatever year that was, you know, when his head just got a little bigger. All right, this is the green room. This is very famous because it has a loud air conditioner. And also, allegedly, Marlon Brando, when he was a struggling actor, was doing some sort of play here, and he actually slept here. You know? Isn't that? I don't give a fuck either. I just realized I didn't care either. Here's my show shirt, hanging up. You like this? Sort of tuxedo, yet casual. You know? No bow tie, but I'm taking it seriously. Oh, by the way, every theater is haunted, they say. You know? Charlie Chaplin took a shit here, and ever since then. All right, so here we go, Boston, Massachusetts. Now, right over here, this just building that looks like nothing ever happened there, that used to be Dominic's. They had these giant slices of pizza, like the size of 2 slices, and there was a big fat guy that hung out front. And evidently, it was Christmas there all year round, if you know what I mean. This used to be a real shady area. I remember walking out of here, coming out of Nick's Comedy Stop where I first started. And I walked over to, you know, get my piece of shit car. And this girl just fucking came up to me. She was like, you know, how about we get together for a blowjob? I can't explain it, man. She just looked at me the way only a hooker can look at you, you know? There's no bullshit. It's fucking real. And I swear to God, I felt that little shock. You know, my dick, do it, do it. I was just like, I said no. And I got in my car. And I drove, and then I quickly came back around the block because my dick had talked me into it. No, do it, you're right, fuck it. So I drove all the way back around, and by the time I came back, she was gone. Just like all hookers. They can disappear. It's unreal. You pass them, you're like, yes. You turn back around, and they're gone. You didn't see one fucking car. You didn't see a light coming down from a spaceship. They're gone. This is where I started doing stand-up comedy, and I started at Nick's Comedy Stop, which I now believe is some sort of dance club, which is really fucking depressing. Because I'm gonna sound like the old guy a lot here. I remember when this used to be a salami store, and now look at it. This here, I don't know what this is, but this freaks me out. That's a church. Church of all nations. It's completely round. There's no windows except on the second floor where you have to leap to your death to get out of there. I don't know. At least the Scientology buildings, they have like that classic sort of creepiness, like the Catholic Church. This is the original Comedy Connection right here. The Child's Playhouse. Some people there probably gonna go see fucking Blue Man Group, like that's still relevant. Yeah, this is where I spent all my time. Right down here. Warrenton Street, I believe this is. I don't even know. This was Nick's Comedy Stop. What the fuck did they do? Oh, there it is. There's the sign. Dave Russo's there tonight, George Ham. I know all those guys. They used to have a big sign, Nick's Comedy Stop. That's where I started. I just had a bad feeling that this video is going to be shown in court of me doing this rather than... Your Honor, if you look where his eyes are, you can clearly see the driver is not looking where he's supposed to be. However, straight ahead, we're going down to, this is Boston, the Boston Commons. This is like Boston Central Park. It's a lot smaller. Every when I come here, I can't help but do the Boston accent. It's our version of Central Park. It's a lot smaller. They got the swan boats here, which when I was a kid I thought would be the coolest job. You know, for those of you who've never been on a swan boat, there's a little bicycle thing you pedal behind the swan thing. And I don't know. I never wanted to have a real job. Go fuck yourself. Would you want to be a banker in the 2nd grade? It looked like fun. I like riding a bike. I can do it on a boat and I look like I'm riding inside of a swan. Who wouldn't want to do that? I liked animals and I liked my bicycle. I don't need to justify my dreams to you. This is where I went to school. All right, look at this. Picturesque. You know, and if I didn't commute, I think I actually would have had a social life. Coming up right down here on the right-hand side, I used to, it was one of my first gigs, I used to do radio in there. On WERS, 88.9 WERS, a broadcast service of Emerson College. And upstairs, I used to work at, what was that one? 640 AM WECB. And it basically, the signal was so weak, it only broadcasted to the dorms down the street. And I had the 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. shift, I swear to God. And I'd sit there and play shit like They Might Be Giants and all this college shit that I knew nothing. Screaming Trees. I can't even remember. Dinosaur Jr. And I was like an AC/DC fan, metal fan. I totally wasn't into Nirvana. I didn't get it. Like all you douchebags who were acting like, you know, like now it's the 20-year anniversary of that album. Everyone's just, I could just tell. There was a change in the air. You didn't know shit. You were just like me. You were waiting for the next Skid Row album. You thought it was good. And it was. And I would actually have the nerve to ask for requests. Any requests out there? fucking 4 in the morning. So finally I just gave up one week. I go, Jesus Christ, is there anybody listening? Request a song. Call me up. Tell me you hate me. Anything. And the fucking phone lit up and I picked up the phone and this guy goes, I hate you. And hangs up. And then I just sat there like fucking catatonic. Then all of a sudden I thought the whole world was listening and they hated me. Then the kid actually called up and apologized. Said his girlfriend made him made him call back and apologize because she was a DJ too. I think she was coming in on the 6 a.m. shift. And that was my college life. And no, I didn't get laid. For some reason I started banging some 30-year-old chick who sang in a band. That's another video. That's another video altogether. Gonna keep heading down the street, kid, to fucking Kenmore Square, where the fucking Red Sox are playing. Dude, what the fuck is with the Sox, kid? If I had one more fucking person up here bitching about the Red Sox. What the fuck, dude? 7 championships, 7 years. We ran the table. You just saw the Bruins hoist the cup. No other city's ever done that. Not even those cunts down in New York. If you include their host state, they got 13 teams. They've never won all 4 championships in a decade. I already looked it up. Go fuck yourself. Everybody up here whining like a bunch of fucking rich kids. We're not going to win everything. They're up by two games. It's a $180 million behemoth. I think we look all right. Gives a fuck. You know, you think David Ortiz would really give you a hug if he saw you? Actually, he probably would. Up there, that's the Citgo sign. I don't know if you can see it. There's a bus. A bunch of people paid $8. It's going to overturn on the way down to Hartford. Straight up, that's the Kenmore, that's the Citgo sign. That's a landmark here in Boston. That big sign there that's probably represents this corporation that's killed millions of people over the years. But from where we're sitting, you know, it lights up the square. You know, it looks really nice. Dude, it's their fault for living on top of the oil. The fuck? All right, so here we are. We're coming up here to Kenmore Square. And this is all here. This is like all these colleges. You got BU this way, Emerson College this way, MIT, those fucking eggheads who were doing Sudoku, however you say it, when they were like in their crib. And then you got Harvard on the other side. You know, which for some reason I respect MIT more than I respect Harvard. MIT comes off more like blue collar. You know, maybe because there's like so many like Asian kids there. So they don't look like they came from that European royalty, like they had to fucking work extra hard. You know what I mean? Built the railroads. probably figured out mathematically how to build a boat to come over here. And then just, math's a joke now. They're just killing us. But Harvard, they just come off like all those fucking, you know, those white kids down in Nantucket, you know, they wear those fucking boat shoes with no socks. You know, date rape is just part of your weekend. Right down here, Kenmore Square, there's a dance club down here. It used to be called Narcissus. And this fucking place was so crooked. It used to change its names like every fucking 3 weeks. It would somehow close down and then reopen with the same owners with a different name. And there'd be a fire or something. It was like if you wanted to catch herpes in the late 80s, early 90s, that was the place to go. And I swear to, it was not, dude, let's go to Narcissus. Let's put on our fucking parachute pants. That was a big thing. And then you'd go down there, you'd get into a fight, and the big thing before the fight, you took your chain off. You know what's hilarious about Fenway Park is, you know, keeping up in the arms race with the Yankees. We don't have as big a stadium. So we got just people sitting on flagpoles there. Every time I come there, they figure out a new place to put seats. It's hilarious. Dude, I sit on top of the Green Monster. Back in 1993, is this legal? I don't think so. I won the WBCN Comedy Riot, and that was the big thing for up-and-coming comedians. Right in here. Right through those doors and into the back, which I think is just like a big dance hall. I think dance hall, whatever the fuck you call it. Big room where they have like a DJ, whatever these kids are doing nowadays. And they used to have this thing every year, the WBCN Comedy Riot. And if you won it, you got to go on WBCN. And then like the Herald of the Globe or something did a write-up on you. And I won it the last year, 1993, and there was this big thing called the Curse of the Riot. Like if you won the riot, anybody who won the riot, like nothing ever happened. So you actually wanted to be like the runner-up or some shit like that. So I won the thing. I won the thing the last year. And I won headshots. And I didn't get the write-up. Didn't get to go on BCN. And then the club closed like 3 days later. There's Fenway Park right here. Let's see, can I go down this way? Ah, you fucking dicks. This is one of the fallouts of trying to keep up with the Yankees. They bought up all the concessions around here. And they close off these streets like we're in a goddamn war. So there it is right there. There's the banners. There's the souvenir store and all that type of shit. My mind, when I was a kid, we used to come down. I'd come from a big family. We'd go down there. We'd be driving by the ballpark. My dad'd be like, you want to go see a game? Yeah, let's go. All 7 of us would come walking in. We get blue seats right behind home plate. And it only cost $1. I'm so old, I remember when BU used to have a football team up at Nickerson Field. There's the Citgo sign. There's the landmark. That's the one that they light up. Check it out right there. There's our 2 big buildings. Did you get that? Prudential Center, John Hancock. I was taught that a long time ago. You go to any city, what are the 2 biggest buildings? Biggest buildings are always going to be insurance and banks. How do you think they got that way? From paying claims? From giving you money and your interest? There's a guy who looks like Greg Fitzsimmons. Oh, it's Dustin Pedroia. I never noticed that. From far away, Greg Fitzsimmons looks like Dustin Pedroia. Now it's time to play. Who was that more insulting to? So this is the Boston I hung out in. You know, just to let you know. Because ever since Good Will Hunting, everybody is, you know, if you mention Boston, they say Southie. Look at those buildings, though. You telling me you wouldn't want to own one of those? You know, it's sort of like in New York, like on the Upper East Side. Maybe down in D.C. is another place that has beautiful brownstones like that. Brooklyn, parts of Philadelphia. There's a lot of failure in this town for me, to be honest with you. There's a lot of these stories are basically the reason why I can keep coming up with hours of material. Isn't this exciting? I've driven about 4 miles in an hour and a half. This is always awkward when you stop here in traffic and there's somebody else like parked right across from you. Try not to make eye contact. Here's some people taking some tours. This is how bad the economy is. The guy who drives the bus also has to be the guy giving the tour. And if you look right over here, there's a parking meter. All right, now we're going over the Mass Ave Bridge. And this basically, as far as college goes, is the difference between the haves and the have-nots as far as smarts. As far as smarts goes. Dude, who drives the Red Bull car? Beyond fucking 22 years of age. All right, here we go. So this is the Charles River. If you fall in there, you got to get a tetanus shot, dude. See that dome up there? That's the MIT building. Right there. And there's people in there chanting about math. I really wish we were filming right there. I just got yelled at by some lady pastier than me with red framed glasses. I was texting and she was in the crosswalk. Look at this guy with his old fucking bike. See, when you get on this side of the river, you can ride a bike like that and not get the living shit kicked out of you. All he needs is a basket with daisies on it. I swear to God, if he got stomped and I was on the jury, I would really have a hard time convicting the person. I mean, I would. But at some point, I'd have to yell, like, dude, what were you thinking? Do you have any sort of personal responsibility for your own safety? You know what I mean? That's like girls who walk around with their titties hanging out and go, oh, what are you looking at? Your tits. Did you wear a button-up, sweetie? Maybe I'll look in your eyes if we have a conversation. There's another one. There's a girlfriend he left behind. Jesus, look at the awful genetics there. Maybe she's just not athletic. That's the thing. You're either good-looking or smart. You know? Evidently, I'm neither. I'm staying at my parents' house, right? And I had to go through all my shit. You know, because I actually finally live in a place where I can take some of my shit out of their place. And my mother, she saved everything. And I wish I could show you these things. I'm going to talk about it on my podcast. Dude, I got a pair of Boston Bruins. They look like booty shorts. They're like shorter than Larry Bird's, and they're like made out of sweatpants material. So they're really loose around my milky thighs. So there's no way my ball bag wasn't hanging out around 87, 88. I think another lonely, pasty-faced redhead. It'll get better. It'll get better. Look at this overcorrection of just safety in the world. Do you really need a helmet? Do you? Somebody will leave a comment. Actually, over 60,000 Americans a year who don't wear helmets. Nobody cares. Is this Harvard? Is this where the fuck it is? I don't know. That should be the name of this video, Trying to Find Harvard. There you go. We're real big on that. A lot of people are anti-oil, not Boston. We're all about it. We build big neon signs. There you go. There's where they row their boats. That's how the date rapists get that upper body strength so they can hold their chicks down. That's how they do it. Right here along the river. Look at this guy with the porno stash. Singing the song. I'm a winner. I don't care that it's a two-seater. Now he's crying about his parents. People have asked me why I grew a beard. Like, why did you do it? Did you want to look like Bob on The Biggest Loser? I don't know. I didn't shave for a couple days. My girl said she likes it. She's the one who bangs me, so I kept it. That's about all there was to it. Then I booked some acting work, and then I did that typical actor thing. It's got to be the beard. They like the beard. Why didn't I grow one earlier? This actually, as much as I make fun of Hartford, this is some of the smartest, richest sons of bitches on the planet. Some of the funniest people, too. All these writers and that type of stuff. Look at that. Doesn't that look like it's his legs? Look at the guy sitting on the bench. That was breech birth right there. He's got his fucking legs up. Jesus Christ. The fucking ham hocks on her. That chick's from Nebraska. That's a serial killer who's also into boating. That's how you pick him out. Like if I was in the FBI, like, how come he's not rolling with a bunch of other guys? He's a loner. He's actually dropping off body parts like Dexter. He just doesn't have the money for the outboard motor yet. He's got a head right between his legs. His other buddy down the street, he was watching the other half of the body. That's what he did. He just swung it over. Imagine they were doing that. We actually thought it was a little romantic moment, and all he had was just from the waist down. Oh, murder. Disembowelment. Who would have thought it could be this funny? I actually want to go to the Harvard-Yale game here. I like doing stuff like that. When you go to these blue blood events, It's so funny because you think, you know, you're a white guy and you're in and that type of thing, and then you just realize that there's this whole other stratosphere to whiteness, and that they're looking at you like you're a fucking gardener. You know when I noticed that? I went to the Masters. I spared you on that one. I could have said Masters. I went to I went to the Masters, and I went there with Paul Verzi, Jersey kid. You know what I mean? Some of the dirtiest white people on the planet are guys like Paul Verzi, you know, who come from New Jersey. He's actually from New York, and he actually looks down on New Jersey, which is fucking hilarious. It's like me looking down on Rhode Island. We're drinking out of the same water. I'm doing it the whole video. I don't give a fuck. So we went to the Masters, and you just felt it. Everyone was kind of friendly looking at us. We're fucking chugging beers like we're at a football game. And somebody finally, oh, how are you? And they're real subtle. So, where are you from? Is that right? If you don't mind me asking, how'd you get tickets? They start doing that. And then all you do is you just, you know how you stop people like that? You just hit them with the honesty of the moment. It's like, oh, am I like offending you by being here? And then they, oh, no. Look at this guy walking right here, who doesn't move his head at all. His head is very stoic. This guy here, he made some bad business move about 30 years ago, and he's been looking down at the ground ever since. That's how you get osteoporosis. I'm going to call it right now. This is the most excruciating city I've had to drive through. This is just fucking, this is horrible. And no left turn. No fucking left turn.
You're okay.
Oh.
Shit, wait. 7 and 8 p.m. till 7.
I'm going anyways. This lady behind me just beeped at me and went like this, like I can't do this. Now I have to do this. Now we're gonna play a little game called How Mad Can I Make This Lady Behind Me? She's already beeped at me and she wagged her finger at me. Let me tell you, you can do a lot of things to me. You don't wag your fucking finger at me without a gun and a badge. I can feel her anger. You know what's weird is I'm actually getting nervous. I have like this nervous excitement, like that's how much I like annoying people. Watch this lady. She's gonna start beeping. She's gonna start. It could have been better. That was a big build-up for nothing. That was our little fucking Geraldo's bank vault. What is people's obsession with hooking up piece of shit Hondas and trying to turn them into sports? Is that like the new like Deuce Coupe, you know? How back in the day, like all the hot rodders used to take that one? I guess it is. They always have those really loud mufflers, like they're fooling you, like it's fast.
There you go.
Yeah. Look at the guy. Look at this fucking guy with his socks all yanked up, his ass cheeks hanging out. That was acceptable. Those things are the only shorts that are shorter than those Bruins ones I was talking to you about. Look at that guy. Like fucking Bill Rogers. There's an old Boston name. King of the Road, Bill Rogers. That was back when white guys used to win marathons. Dunkin' Donuts every 2 feet out here in Boston. Let me get 2 regulars. Oh, this is just fucking misery. How is the traffic worse here than in Los Angeles? This is just fucking miserable. If you look over there, there's the green monster. I thought we were on the same team. This is very famous because it has a loud air conditioner. And also, allegedly, Marlon Brando, when he was a struggling actor, was doing some sort of play here, and he actually slept here. You know? Isn't that? I don't give a fuck either. I just realized I didn't care either. Here's my show shirt, hanging up. You like this? Sort of tuxedo, yet casual. You know? No bow tie, but I'm taking it seriously. Oh, by the way, every theater is haunted, they say. You know? Charlie Chaplin took a shit here, and ever since then. All right, so here we go, Boston, Massachusetts. Now, right over here, this just building that looks like nothing ever happened there, that used to be Dominic's. They had these giant slices of pizza, like the size of 2 slices, and there was a big fat guy that hung out front. Right, you're right, fuck it. So I drove all the way back around, and by the time I came back, she was gone. Just like all hookers. They can disappear. It's unreal. You pass them, you're like, yes. You turn back around and they're gone. You didn't see one fucking car. You didn't see a light coming down from a spaceship. They're gone. This is where I started doing stand-up comedy, and I started at Nick's Comedy Stop, which I now believe is some sort of dance club, which is really fucking depressing. Because I'm gonna sound like the old guy a lot here. I remember when this used to be a salami store. And now look at it. This here, I don't know what this is, but this freaks me out. That's a church. Church of all nations. It's completely round. There's no windows except on the... And evidently, it was Christmas there all year round, if you know what I mean. This used to be a real shady area. I remember walking out of here, coming out of Nick's Comedy Stop where I first started, and I walked over to, get my piece of shit car, and this girl just fucking came up to me. She was like, how about we get together for a blowjob? I can't explain it, man. She just looked at me the way only a hooker can look at you, There's no bullshit. It's fucking real. And I swear to God, I felt that little shock. My dick, do it. I was just like, I said no. And I got in my car and I drove, and then I quickly came back around the block because my dick had talked me into it. No, do it. You're right. That's just a little appetizer of the kinds of tidbits of information. So this is it. This is backstage. Isn't it glamorous? Oh my God, you made it. So this is the backstage area. This is how it is. They spend all the money out there. And back here they go, get on stage, you fucking animal. This is one of my favorite, most random things I've ever seen backstage. This is a dental chair. I don't know why it's here. I don't know why it's that color. I'm actually gonna try to guess the year. Judging by that color, pre-80s, pre-70s. I'm going to guess that's 1960s, right when Sinatra started to fill out, whatever year that was, when his head just got a little bigger. All right, this is the green room. Hey, what's up? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for another one of my wonderful, informative, on-the-mark tours. And this time we're in Boston. My fucking hometown, dude. We're at the Comedy Connection, the Wilbur Theatre, the Wilbur, as they say here, and there will be a lot of obnoxious Boston accent on this one. They're testing the lights over there. So there it is. Going to be performing here. A lot of history in this place. Look at that door. Look at that side door up there. You know what that is? That's from the old Comedy Connection. I believe that set. That was the set that they built when Rosie O'Donnell made a special. See that? It's